Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Horror 421, the podcast, with your hosts, special effects makeup artist supreme, Elena Morales, and your friendly small-town horror author, Charles Campbell. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the frights in this week's episode.
Hello, Horror 421 world. Welcome to the show today. We have our very good friend and my very good work colleague, Dean Von Odd. And we also have my love, Dustin. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you in the face. And then we also have Charles, my other co-host here today.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk all about Dean's music, which is Destiny, Everything and Nothing. Sorry.
Heck yeah. It's awesome to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So today we're going to ask you a couple questions about how you got started in music and what your biggest influences are. So honestly, what is your main influence in music as far as inspiration with horror?
So that's a loaded question. So as you know, I don't stick to one genre. That's because I'm influenced by so many different people. Growing up, I was a child of the Juggalo culture, Insane Clown Posse, Twisted, but then also very much a new metal kid. So Rob Zombie, Korn, Limp Bizkit, but then also one of my all-time favorites, who I'm seeing in a couple weeks, is Alice Cooper. I'm a fan of I'm a showman. I love anybody that can put artistic value into their music, not only by storytelling in the music, but doing whatever on stage that makes it more interesting than just like getting up there like Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse. Yeah,
fucking neck.
Dude, it's you hear a band like Cannibal Corpse and you see all the art and stuff, and then you see them live and it's a guy in sweatpants spitting in his own hair for 45 minutes. And it's like, where's the showmanship? So anybody that has ever done like a artistic show, Ozzy, that's the shit that influenced me the most.
Rob Zombie and his whole big prop sets that he has when he's on stage. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I tell you, I jumped in and watched some videos back to back, and you definitely don't stick to one genre, which is, I really like that. And I can see your influences. And one of the things that really jumped out at me was some of the hip hop influence. I heard that little Dirty South vibe going in one of the tracks, and I was like, okay, all right, I can get into this. So, but and Deadite, I want to talk about that one specifically. That one kind of blew my mind a little bit because I'm a big Evil Dead fan, and you guys did a great job with that. Tell me how you came about making that video, because I really want to know, where'd you find the cabin? Where'd you shoot it? Where'd you get the book? All that stuff. That was pretty cool.
So, okay. The video for it, I had the idea before I wrote the song, and it was funny enough. The cabin is just a still picture of the original cabin, and then me and my wife had a house in Adairsville that had a giant barn in it on the property. So we used, for the interior shots, we used the barn. And I just I borrowed a deer's head from somebody, and I set up, the chair in there. And my wife made the book out of latex and an old sketchbook.
It looked good.
Yeah, I keep telling her she should make all kinds of stuff to sell, but
they're so talented. Like, Christy has ADHD. Just this insane talent. Like, her makeups are just just crazy.
But a big reason why I wanted to do that song in particular is because I'm also a big fan of, if somebody has a dream that I can help accomplish, I want to do that. And my buddy Nicotine had always wanted to do a song and a music video and all that stuff. And I was like, well, let's do it, man. Like, we both love the Evil Dead franchise. And I was like, let's make a song about Deadites and Kandarian daggers and all that stuff. So we ended up writing the song. I brought him over to the house and we recorded it. And then I was like, all right, man, let's get bloody.
I would love for Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell to see that. I think they would get a big kick out of it. I thought it was great.
I would pass out if that ever happened. I would pass out for you.
Oh, there's got to be a way to make that happen.
I would love if they would just call it trash. It'd be great. Oh my God, Sam Raimi called me garbage. Thank you.
Awesome. You saw my stuff, man.
Oh man, I don't think they would say that, but because it was so well done. And the other thing that interests me is I listen to a lot of music. A lot of my music is estrogen driven, though I listen to a lot of female music. But I'm always interested in the process of songwriting. Now, your stuff is catchy, but there's some really good lyrics in there because I've listened very closely to what I've listened to so far, and there's a lot of thought that goes into it. So tell me, what is your writing process to write a song? I've always been interested in that, being an author myself. I've never sat down to try to write a lyric, though. What is your process?
It varies. One of two ways. Because I am a very story driven guy. So like, for example, this next album that's coming out in March, Poltergeist, I had the concept for the entire album before I even heard the music for it. And when you don't have a band that you work with closely or a producer that you work with closely, you kind of have to, find somebody like their sound. And then you're like, okay, this is kind of the sound I'm going for on this album. And hopefully it turns out for the best. So one of two ways, I'll either come up with the entire concept for what I want to do first, and then kind of find producers, or like for this album that's coming out in August, the rock stuff with the rock producers, he's all the way in Brazil. So I'll be like, hey, this is the kind of sound I'm going for, like a rock blues sound for this album. And, they'll send me the music. And then once I have the music, then I'll put it on and take the concept that I wanted to do and kind of start fleshing out, say, you want to do a sex song, or you want to do a uplifting song, or you want to tell a story with this. It just really all depends on when I do get the music. If I'm like, okay, this is totally off the concept, let's switch it up and do, a story about, Deadites or something like that. So it really all depends. The music does speak to you through the production part of it too. So
yeah, I find similarities in that when I'm writing a book. Sometimes where I start isn't close to where I end. It'll go off in another direction because of what the story's bringing to me and where I want to take it. So I get that. That's pretty cool.
Right. And it's definitely a journey. You as a writer of anything, I'm sure I've written this whole album Poltergeist 3 different times, because I didn't like how it turned out, or I was like, I can do better or something like that. So it's always a journey.
Yeah. Well, you at some point I'm sure you stop, because you could do that to death. You can nitpick something ad nauseum until you just get stuck. So I'm glad you don't get stuck.
Well, my wife's my biggest critic, so when I let them listen to it and they say, okay, this is listenable, then I'm like, all right, everybody else will like it.
Out of all of your songs, though, I know it's hard to pick one because those are like all your babies, but what's your favorite song that you've ever done?
Okay. I'm gonna have to just say, due to catchiness, how good it came out, and the music video, probably "Human Barbecue." It seems to be what sticks with everybody. So that, and I don't know. Honestly, probably stuff I haven't released yet, just because with any craft, you get better as time goes, and with each project. So, I mean, there's some stuff that I'm sitting on right now that I think will shortly be my favorite or fan favorites. Which also, let me correct myself. I don't like calling people that support me fans. They're either supporters or friends or family, because that's really what it is. And the underground scene is a fan. I don't have. Well, I have one fan, and that's myself. So.
You got another. You got at least one more. I'm a fan after I watched all those videos and listened to your music. I definitely am entertained. So,
well, I would rather say welcome to the family than calling you a fan. Fan just seems so like, I'm not rich enough to have fans.
We're getting there, though. We're working on it. We're working on it, man. I'm here to help you with that.
Well, I get your point. You're right.
I love making personal connections, though, with all my fans. Family. I call it, anybody that has a fan base always has their name for it, like juggalos or knotheads, or what was maggots, or like corn kids or something. So I call mine the Army of the Heartless, and it's it's like a club. It's an exclusive club for the Pigman people.
Well, I do have a question for you, and it involves the lady sitting right beside you. How difficult is it working with Elena? I heard she can be a bear working with.
It's awful. No, I'm kidding.
Damn. I was just gonna say that the writer was expensive, but bowl full of complete green M&Ms in the trailer. It's rough. No, honestly, I love it. Because the film that we worked on together, and the anything that we've done together so far, it's like I have an idea of what I want, and then she just surpasses the idea, and I'm like, oh fuck, okay, this looks really cool. Especially like with the face filleting in one of the upcoming films that we're gonna put out. It's I don't know, it's been great so far.
Well,
it's so fun.
Yeah, well, I saw her, kind of jumping in with the other cannibal women, about ready to chow down on you. So the makeup in that was fantastic.
She was relentless with that pan. She did not hold back.
Remember that one scene I hit you? I wish we could have got that in. Like, I accidentally hit something with it, and it literally made that cartoon noise, like that ding.
Yeah, Rune did too.
Fucking
fuckers.
Hilarious.
You had an outtake of it, right? And it was like, it's quiet.
Ding. Luckily, I have a tough head, so.
I will say, I think the hardest part of doing anything with us is me and him are both the type of people, we shoot for the moon every fucking time. And people are like, hey guys, reel it in just like a little bit. And we're like, no, we're going to do this and we're going to show you. And we tend to, but it's fun because we both have that mind that works together. He'll say something. I was like, oh, okay. And then we just go back and forth and then it works. And we're just like, oh, okay, fine. It works.
Speaking of cannibal women, so I was telling them the other day, somebody put my music video in one of those YouTube channels that are like judge whatever, and they submitted the cannibal women from Planet Scum.
I didn't know it was that video.
Yeah, and they started the video, and the guy was like, I already don't believe it. Chunky guy walking through the woods. don't, it's not sellable.
Oh, come on, man. I believed it. You sold me.
Behind the scenes of that video, what people don't know is that when we were actually putting seasoning on D.E.A.N before we were going to chow down on him, we all got pepper and seasoned salt in our eyeballs where,
Ugh.
and I had contacts in and he had like contacts in. We were just like,
Yeah, so I forgot to empty out the things, but
yeah,
oops.
that was about 5 minutes. Like you see a lot of blinking on that scene. It's because all of us were like, I got pepper in my eye.
Well, going back to the chunky thing is, if they're cannibal women, they're going to want a chunky guy. They're going to have plenty of food to feed everybody. So
Right, exactly. I'm very well, not marinated, but I guess fattened up. I guess.
Did any of us get poison ivy that day?
No, luckily, because I don't have insurance.
Funny. Yeah. We were all like, all right. We were like, everybody, don't fuck up. Like, walk right here. Do not fuck here. Like, do not like fucking fuck up. Like, just get it right. That was such a fun day, though. How long did that take us?
We were there.
We got there at what, like noon?
Noon, and then probably around 5 or 6, we wrapped up with that one. And then I did the other 2 parts of the video. So
did you do Fright Night there?
Yep, we did Fright Night there and part of the violin one. Fucking song name.
Why did I just forget myself? That's the one with Christy, and it's the slower song.
Covered in Crimson.
There you go.
So we luckily, thank you to Angel, who was over at well, I'm not supposed to say the haunt name. One of the haunt around here, they let us film there for the day, and I was very, very grateful.
I was about to say, hey.
Yeah.
Kicking him on the leg over there.
Yeah.
Well, I do have an interesting question, and it's really probably for all 3 of you. How did you guys wind up with each other? How did you guys meet?
So, funny story. I follow his partner, Christy, and I always admired them from like afar at the conventions because the makeup is just phenomenal. And I remember, I think the first time I saw them, they were they had the outfit on where they had all the Barbie doll heads on them, and then the Boulay brothers were there that year. Yep. And I white girled on the Boulay brothers. They walked past me going to the elevator, and I was like, "Oh my god, you're so pretty!" And Dustin was like, I looked at him because they were like, "Oh my gosh, thanks!" And Dustin was like, "Bitch, did you?" I was like, "I didn't I?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh my god!
I follow Christy on Facebook, and we became friends. And she started promoting my work on Facebook, which blew me away because I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, you get intimidated by certain people when you're an artist. Like, you just get in this box where you're like afraid of them. And then they messaged me, and they were like, "Dean wants to, we have some movie stuff coming up. Would you like to be part of it?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah," because I'm just like, I want to get into that more. And I was like, "This is a really cool opportunity. Do I need to bring like a portfolio?" And they're like, "No, you have everything on Facebook." And then we became friends. And then I met you like just doing. He was like, "Let's do what short were we doing?" It was for what's your character? Crap. The voodoo one.
Oh, Jinx.
Jinx. The Jinx. Yeah, we did the Jinx, and that was the first time I met him. And we just kind of hit it off. Like, it was just kind of chosen family from there. Like, there was no awkwardness. It was really cool.
Sad that character is never going to come to fruition. But
it still was a good character. I had a lot of fun doing that. That was fun. That actor you had was awesome.
I know.
That was a cool reel.
Yeah.
Anyways, sad times for Autumndale.
So, Dustin, you got roped in through Elena. So that's how you guys...
by proxy. I just tagged along and then jumped in and helped on whatever thing I was there for.
Which was a huge help because even like when you're on set, even the smallest contribution to anything is awesome. And even without asking, like they were dressing a mannequin for head chopping off, and Dustin just got right in there and started duct taping and everything.
I've forgotten about that.
Because as a director, when you're on set, I mean, and that was honestly 92.3 was so smooth. We were ahead of schedule shooting and stuff, so it was very nice to have extra hands. But when you're a director and you're on set, you're so stressed out trying to, especially in indie film when you don't have a giant crew and stuff. you're stressed out trying to make sure the actors are okay, and you're setting the scenes and getting your lighting ready and blah blah blah. So it was the first time that I actually had a little bit of a crew. And so when everything was done and we're just waiting on actors, essentially, I was like, well, shit, thank you.
What's funny is like he would have actors drop out, and I was like, so I'm a victim in one of them. So like cutting between takes, I was like, here's a little bit more blood. All right, I gotta get back in the spot, like tied up and stuff. And then Dustin was a cameraman in one. And then I did a zombie
yeah, that's
part.
right, you were.
Like, hey man, I'm really glad you're here.
So,
I need an extra like now.
Dude,
Got it.
what's funny is like
It was so
if
hot.
anybody's friends with me, you're eventually gonna be in something that I do, because everybody else gets tired of my shit. And then I'm like, all right, who else can I bother? Hey, do you want to be your body or something?
Who haven't I worn out yet?
Right.
But every actor you've had, like I've made really good friends by just being part of that movie. Like
Right.
92.3, I made so many new friends, and they're all like top-notch people. I've not met one of them that's not like talked to me lately or said, hey, how you doing? You know, they're all like superly nice people. And that set was so cool because like in between takes, we're all watching horror movies, like chilling.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so fun because you get to know everybody, but the environment that they created for us was homey, and it wasn't like that you have to be the greatest thing in the world. Like it wasn't
Intimidating. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It
Who
was just
was-
like that environment.
Who
That
was
good.
changing the movies? Because every time I went
We all were.
back in
Everybody
there,
took a
I was
turn.
like,
Yeah.
there's a new movie. I'm like, who the fuck is doing this?
We're all
Yeah.
taking
It was
turns, like-
Halloween, and then it was Ghostbusters, and then it was something
Right.
else. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I basically, when anybody shows up to a set and I'm like, all right, so now is the waiting around part. So my house is your house. Just don't steal anything.
Or shit on the floor.
Or yeah, don't or
Don't.
blast my fucking toilet apart.
That sounds like a
man.
story behind that.
God.
You know what?
Oh,
This is a
man.
fun story when
We'll
we get
tell
off
you
the camera.
off camera because
This is
I don't
off
wanna
camera. Oh man,
man.
this is gold. Come
Whole
on, I'm just
thing,
messing.
Yeah, we can't. We don't know.
All
We
right.
can't.
All right. Sorry, listeners. They're not going to share it right now. I'll tell you later.
If you ever see me at a convention or something, come up and I'll tell you the toilet blasting apart story.
We could tell the fart part though.
Oh man, I can't because we have in order to put it in perspective.
This is true. Yeah.
So-
Just
Well, that
know
was-
that someone farted and it was bad.
So this
It
is
was real
the
bad.
second podcast we've talked about parts. Awesome.
You know, you gotta make it personable for the listener. You know, you gotta make it. We're human.
There's no
Yeah.
walls.
Right.
That's
Jesus.
Oh man,
welcome to the podcast.
that's right.
So
Oh
if
my
you could
goodness.
pick one
I
of
don't
your
even know what-
favorite horror movies. That's a good precursor. To
One of
get
my
out of the
favorite
awkward
horror.
moment.
Yeah. One of my favorite horror movies.
Mhm.
I can't.
It's too many.
So I can give you three. I would say my top three is first Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Which a lot of people are like, ew, it didn't have Michael Myers into that. I say,
Still
fuck
kind of
you,
the
sir.
best one.
The second one, Texas Chainsaw 2. Yes.
Okay.
Just because I feel like they fleshed out the characters better and they're the bring it all down. I love that shit. And then third is a newer movie. It was Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, fuck
That's a great movie.
I went into it expecting like your average cabin movie, and halfway through it, they flipped the script, and I was
That's
like,
right.
what the
Well,
fuck?
that's how it
Okay.
started. It started like it was just going to be an Evil Dead knockoff, and then they flipped it
Right.
on.
Dude, the stoner, that was my favorite
Yeah.
character in the whole fucking thing. He was like, what the fuck is going on? Do you guys not fucking hear that?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, it sucks. You can't watch that movie for the first time
again,
Yeah.
right.
It's once you've done it, you've seen it. It's like, well,
Unless you get amnesia somehow,
Yeah.
which if I'm in a horrible car accident and I lose my memory, treat me. I'm telling everybody right now, show me Cabin in the Woods again, because that's going to be great.
Maybe you'll get the 50 First Dates thing where every day you wake up and you just put the VHS in and it's fucking
That'd be scary but great.
If I could see Monster Squad again for the first time,
right?
That was my childhood. Like fucking, I made my mom rent that shit for me every fucking Friday. I think like that movie and fucking, what was the other one? Okay, it had what's the guy, the skeleton who used to do scary stuff?
Very broad. You're gonna have to.
He had a TV show.
Crypt Keeper?
Yes,
Oh,
Crypt
Crypt
Keeper.
Keeper.
He did the movie and it was vampires.
Bordello of Blood.
I made her rent me that
That was the
shit
first
all
movie
the
I saw
time.
boobies in.
Yeah. I don't know why my mom. Sorry, Mom. I make you sound really bad on this podcast, but like I don't know why my mom let me watch it. There's a lot of titties in that movie. There's so many, but she was actually the one who got me into horror. I think that was my main reason to like watch horror movies, like Dark Shadows and all the Universal monsters. So thank you, Mom.
Yeah. I was growing up. I mean, I grew up in a very, very conservative Christian household, so I didn't start. I mean, of course, like we weren't allowed to celebrate Halloween. We didn't do.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, no. You wonder why it's so fucked up now. No, we weren't allowed to do Halloween. I only trick-or-treated once, and we pulled up to my grandparents' house, and I got this awesome alien costume, and I go up and I ring the doorbell, and they sing Jesus Loves You and pours a bowl of candy into my bag, and I'm trying to go to the next house, and they're like, oh no, you're done. Let's go inside. Let's eat your candy and watch some Jesus stuff. So yeah, it was a very weird thing. So when I got to a point to where I could start watching horror movies, I would sneak over to friends' houses or some, and the very first 2 horror movies I ever saw, and I could remember it vividly. The first one, on Halloween night, I snuck next door to a neighbor's house, and their parents were playing Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh.
And so I had never seen anything like that before. So the first scene that I see is where he's in the wolf state. He turns around and titties are out. I'm just like, oh my God, what is Jesus help me?
That's like the sexiest and creepiest scene I think that has ever been in a horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's definitely up there. And then The Gate. The Gate was the first one that I actually watched all the way through. It's it stupidly enough was made for children originally, but then they were like, it's too intense, and these 2 kids open a portal to hell in the backyard.
Awesome.
It's anyways, those movies started my love for horror, and I don't know, it's been a sickness ever since then.
Well, everyone here loves horror, so that's good. That's good. And you've already listed your favorite, maybe your top 3 horror movies. But what are some other films you like? I like to hear other people's opinions on horror movies, and I'd like to know a few more that you go to maybe watch once or twice a year.
Man, I mean, there's so much. So I'm not a fan of body horror. I've never been a big gore hound, which is a lot of horror fans are.
Yeah.
The more gore, the better. I personally love the horror movies that use the setting to put you in a horror feeling. So like I do love like the Conjuring films.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first 2.
Yeah, that last one.
Third
We're
one,
gonna X-say that one from the show.
I do love like Trick or Treat is one of my favorites, just because it's so beautifully shot and
it's cute too.
It is cute.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite anthology films.
Oh yeah. And of course you have like all the George Romero films that can be gory, but they don't rely heavily on it for zombie films, which is I think is anything that has. And I'm also a fan of political horror, which a lot of horror fans aren't nowadays. Now when I say that, I don't mean I like the remakes of films that are putting in propaganda to try to change it up, like the last Black Christmas movie. I didn't care for that much, but
Yeah, I hated it actually. I
yeah,
thought it was
First Black
garbage.
Christmas, a lot of people don't give that movie enough credit.
No,
That actually is a very dark
yeah, it's
film.
fucked
And like
up.
the
being
first
in
one.
the attic the whole time, I was like, dude.
No,
Ugh.
the first one's my favorite, and I did like the 2000. I think it was 2006 or 2007 that remake.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. But this one they released like 2 years ago is hot garbage as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. But when it comes to original horror that's political, like people hate Jordan Peele for some reason, and I love his stuff because it's more of a thriller than horror, but I'd still consider it horror. Like, but Us and
I
Get
still
Out.
haven't seen those yet. I don't
Get
know, like
Out.
that day.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Get Out. I really enjoyed that. I didn't enjoy Us as much, but it was still a good movie. But for some reason, Get Out really got to me. It
The
kind of
one
got.
thing that I will say about a remake that they made more political, which a lot of people were bitching about, but Candyman, if you watch the original, it was already political. They just weren't as forward with it as they are nowadays.
And I will admit, I haven't seen the newest version.
It's good. It's good. It's different. It's but it still has some of the same ideals. There wasn't as much of a love interest as there was in the originals, but it's good. It's good. But man, I could talk about horror all day. Because there's so many subgenres.
Right.
Like I love cheesy horror too, like the old house movies. Um, one of my all-time favorites, I'd probably say in my top 10 is The Frighteners.
Michael J. Fox. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah. Because it's a perfect blend of comedy and horror and just movies like that. That's horror perfection to me. Like I don't need horror movies to scare the shit out of me. I just need you to take me on a dark journey. That's what I like. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Elena and I are both avid readers. She more than I because I'm spending a lot of time writing.
Don't tell people that. They don't need to know I'm a nerd, okay?
Hey, that's
just
all
kidding.
right.
I am a nerd.
That's all right.
I've already read 3 books this month, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to write a book, and it's not going very fast. I'm slowed my pace down because of the podcast and other things we got going on. So normally I release about 2 books a year, and this year it's going to be 1 if I'm lucky. I've got 1 paragraph written of the book that I'm writing, so I don't know. And we're in almost February. But we're both pretty avid readers. And Dustin, I don't know if you're a reader. I think you are.
Slow, very, very painfully so. I've been reading 1 book for 2 years now.
Yeah, but to give you credit, it is The Witching Hour by Anne Rice.
It
is The Witching Hour by Anne Rice. That is a large book, and it's a lot of information.
There's so many words, and it takes me so long to read each one. And then I have to think about the word.
When we first got together, I lent him Joe Hill's Heart-Shaped Box,
which was an amazing book.
It's a fantastic book if no one's ever read it. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. I don't know how they're the same but also different in certain comparisons, but that book is fucking fantastic. It's about a possessed suit. That I don't know how to describe it. Like he's the main character, he's an actual like macabre collector. So he collects all kinds of things, and I can't remember if it was Craigslist or eBay. They had this suit. It was apparently haunted, worn by somebody dead, and it just has weird happenings anytime someone gets it. And he gets a hold of it, and like his life just fucking goes. Anyway, beyond that, he borrowed it, and I was like, "Hey, did you finish?" Because no one else read that book, but like me and my little brother, and I wanted somebody to talk to about,
Yeah,
and I was like, "Hey, did you finish the book?" It took him like a month, but it was funny. It was funny.
Well, the only reason I was able to finish it was it snowed and I didn't have to work. And so I finally had there was no power. I kind of had to Mary Shelley, where it's just like,
fuck, now I have to read.
Now I have to read. I was like, I'm gonna finish this book. I'm here. I'm stuck. I'm finishing this book. So
I think I have the anxiety thing where like if I start something, like I have to fucking finish it or else like, and I'm actually that meme on Facebook when people are like, it's 3 a.m. and you're in the middle of the plot part of the book and it's like, I don't need sleep, I need fucking answers. That's actually real. That's actually real. It's a thing. I'll like see how many pages the book has. I'm like, all right, so I have to read this much to be halfway, and it's almost like a challenge in my brain every time. I don't know.
Well, I'm
It's like
circling
a
it back.
thing.
Circling it back to Dean. Are there any authors you read and enjoy?
Or
So
graphic novels.
Yeah, graphic novels
Because
count.
those count.
yeah,
A lot of people don't think they count.
okay. So this is I have a hard time reading, just because of the way my brain works. I'll read like 2 lines and then my eyes automatically go back up to the next 2 lines, and I end up reading the same thing over and over, and I get distracted. So reading is I enjoy it, but it's harder for me to keep my attention. So I'd have to say, honestly, to be completely honest, the whole book series that I've ever read is the Harry Potter series.
Mhm.
And then like of course the high school books that you were required to read, like what was it, like Animal Farm.
I never had
and
to read
shit
that
like
one.
that.
That was not part of ours.
So I mean, I don't read often, and comic books I try not to read because at the time of I was building Autumndale, I did not want to be influenced by anything else. So because as any artist does, we take reflections from what we see and make it our own. And so I was trying not to be influenced by anything. But if I had to choose anything that I absolutely love to read, comic book wise, it would be Hellboy.
Fantastic pick.
And the old and this is going to make me sound real dumb, but Goosebumps and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Literally all of our podcast people that we've interviewed, R.L. Stein's Fear Street, R.L. Stein Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Everybody has a very strong influence in that world.
Yeah, there's nothing goofy or dumb about that at all. We've heard it over and over again so far.
It's literally a common theme. I think literally everyone we've talked to has had that as a major.
Yeah, and
because that's how they get you hooked.
Yeah.
R.L. Stein gets you hooked on horror.
That's right. Well, growing up, I was a comic book kid too, and I read comics up until I was probably about 25, 26.
What's your favorite?
Well, I was a Spider-Man kid, and I'm a lot older than all of you. So back in the mid 70s, they used to be like a quarter, 20 cents a piece, and my dad would give me $1, and I'd go in there and buy every Spider-Man comic I could find on the rack. So I lived with Peter Parker forever growing up. So, and when I watch the movies and they do things that kind of irritate me because it's not true to the comic, I'm like, fucking webs out of his wrist. No fucking way. But anyway, I digress.
If you're going to read a good comic book, Purgatory is actually a fucking phenomenal, badass bitch of a character. She is gorgeous. She is the hottest comic book character. And every time I go to Days, they have this one guy who sells comics. And Dustin will like buy them out because they're so hard to find. That and Evil Ernie. They're so good. Everybody needs to read them. I don't even know how to describe her. She's like a demon, vampirist, like, I love her.
As far as storytelling goes, I love comics. And when movie makers in Hollywood make comic book movies, I really wish they would go to the source material more than they do, because the source material has it right there. It's laid out.
I will tell you, if I was ever given a large budget to do a comic book movie, the very first one I would do would be Johnny the Homicidal Maniac by Johann Vasquez. I have a hard time saying it, but the same guy that does Invader Zim and all that. He did that. I would love to see a real life Johnny.
Yeah.
How excited are you that Invader Zim's making a comeback now?
Oh, so I just love Gurr. Like,
I had a Gurr jacket. I had all. When I went through my Hot Topic
Gurr show, that'd be great.
He's so cute.
Well, the
Do you
thing
watch
about
Invader Zim?
I have not. but I will.
What?
You're missing out.
You missed out on a
I'll check
very
it out.
good childhood memory of ours, and I think you should probably just watch it.
Yeah, I was
What?
probably in my 30s when you were watching that.
Well, here's the thing: even in your 30s, the reason why I love his art style so much is because the social commentary on humans and how disgusting humans are is just hilarious.
I actually never thought about it like
The
that. You make a very valid
Piggy
point,
pizza
though.
and all that.
Yeah.
God,
Oh,
man, they
Gross.
trashes humans as much as he can.
Well, Elena will send me the links where I can go catch up on that. So, but
There's
Where
a
do they
lot.
have it on? Where do they have it now?
Netflix.
They do,
Netflix, I'll check it out there.
or is that the new one on Netflix? The newer.
I think they
Enter the
have-
Florpus.
You know what else was a good show that people don't give enough credit for because it scared the shit out of me as a kid? Was actually Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh yeah,
That was a
had-
good one.
The art in that was
Yeah.
very. I love cartoons that would flash to like the almost ultra realistic
Mhm.
pictures for a minute. You know what I'm talking about? Ren and Stimpy
Yeah,
was
Ren and Stimpy.
notorious
Yeah.
for that too.
Evil.
Which
No, I did watch Ren and Stimpy. They were
I don't
funny.
know how they put that on a children's programming station,
My
but
favorite was the fart episode when he like farted at the delivery kid or something. Then they had the booger table one. That was such a disgusting show.
I had a
This
booger
is
table as a
Fart
kid.
421, the podcast.
Make it a common theme.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, they've got all the source material right there. I don't know why they keep dicking with it and messing it up. But anyway, I digress. So,
Do you have any questions for Dean?
Questions? What do you got coming up? Besides
That's a good
the
question.
you were talking about the new album, but I thought you had other.
Yeah, so much is coming up. So actually, I don't know when is this being released. You know what date yet?
it will be later in March. So we're
Oh,
up,
okay.
yeah, so it will be later in March. We're up through the 18th on episodes of March, so probably the one
Okay.
after that.
So as of right now, excuse me, I'm going through puberty. As of right now, you can go. The Valentine's Day single has already come out. I did it's not rock, it's not hip hop. I wanted to do a pure horror song. So I took the classic song "Let Me Call You Sweetheart," and I wanted to do a song for Valentine's Day that showed how progressively insane love can get, and especially from like an American Psycho standpoint. So as the song progresses, the song gets more and more intense and horror, and it's produced by Gory Rory, who's done a bunch of scoring for a bunch of the films and stuff. So it's a very different song. You can hear that now, and I'm sure the video's out. March, let's see. Next month, Poltergeist will be coming out. I'm only doing 2 more hip hop albums, and then I'm kind of completely moving on from that. Poltergeist being 1, and Southern Gothic 2 being the last. So Poltergeist should be out next month. We'll have a whole line of jerseys and merchandise and stuff coming out with that. The album is a collaboration album. Features groups like Ill Tricks, Mad Max, Jonathan Hillhouse of Oh the Horrors on there. And then shortly after that, I have a group, a collaboration coming out with Al Azul Ilu, or Axe, which is one of the best horror groups out right now, about the Eldritch Terrors. Super famous Fun Time guys. I have a track coming out with them called Burn Your House Down, about shitty neighbors and stuff.
Fuck those neighbors.
Which super famous Fun Time guys. They're very much hate-filled satire. So all of their music is super poppy and upbeat, but full of just "I hate you" lyrics,
Yeah,
which
just
is
listen to the
absolutely
lyrics.
great. So they're super awesome too. Both of them are on Long Live Evil, LLE. So I got a lot of stuff coming out this year. A lot of videos. We're doing 2 events this year. We haven't released them yet, but one's in the summer, one's in the fall. And then I don't know, just got a lot of music coming out, a lot of videos coming out. Out now also, if you guys don't know me or my music, we have a whole kind of multiverse of D.E.A.N. I have a cartoon character named Gordy.
Cute.
He's our mascot. Chef, which my buddy Chuck plays. We have all kinds of weird characters and stuff. We have another character that's coming out this year, the Belled Buzzard. And all those are going to be incorporated into the new live stage show. We just got a whole setup to where we can bring cartoon characters on stage with us, and people who can't tour with us, they'll be on stage with us via screens.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we're working on a fully immersive show where we pump smells into the crowd, confetti cannons and body parts and all kinds of cool shit. So,
Well, that's awesome. One other question is, you explain what is coming up, but can you kind of consolidate it where people can find you on YouTube, or do you have a website? Where can they find you on social media?
yeah,
Where can the folks find you?
absolutely. As of right now, if we this would have been earlier, it wouldn't have mattered. But now we have our fully functioning brand new website out at armyoftheheartless.com. And you can find all the music videos there. You can find all the merchandise and updated stuff. Every month we try to put out something fun for everybody. And outside of that, you can find me on Instagram, Destiny Everything and Nothing, and Facebook, Dean Von Odd.
TikTok.
I'm locked out of my TikTok.
How the fuck did you get locked out of TikTok?
Because I forgot my password and I created a whole new TikTok on accident.
And if you have the email with it, yeah. So, see, I told you TikTok is too many fucking buttons.
I'm old.
There's a lot of buttons.
I don't technology well.
Yeah. There's buttons.
Yeah, I barely do the Facebook, so.
Right. But unfortunately, you have to keep up on all this social media stuff.
Yeah, when we put the YouTube link up for the podcast where everyone can see you, I'll make sure to put those links down in the description so they can click on them.
Sweet.
And Elena, do you have any other questions?
I think with Candyman, I know you said that's one of your favorites, and I meant to ask you this a minute ago, but squirrel. So Tony Todd, do you ever get intimidated when you see him at conventions because of that character? Like, I can't fucking talk to the guy. I get so weirded out. I'm like, it's Candyman.
I've stood at the end of his table twice and walked away now, just because I don't get starstruck by many people. But okay, so everybody knows I'm very openly bisexual. That man's voice does something to me that I don't think I can handle in public. Yeah. So I would just probably walk up and be like, talk to me. So I just try. I can't meet him.
Hi.
Hello.
That's probably what's going to happen to me if I see Tom Savini at Days. I'm going to be like, hi.
Yeah.
We've talked about Tom Savini with Tony Wash. He did a movie with him.
Dude, I can't even imagine like what I would talk to him about. And like my mom wants to go to Days, and the last time she went, we met Joe Bob, and she was showing Joe Bob my makeup, and I was just like, please stop doing this. Oh my god, I can't handle this. So much pressure.
Yeah, he's gonna be there in February, right?
Yeah, I know, but my mom will walk up to him. She goes, "Oh my God, she's so talented. You have to hire her today. Like, here's her work. This is what she does. This is her website." And she'll show them. I'm like, "Oh my God, Mom!" She's my number one fan, and it's so fun because I love it. But it's so funny when she goes to conventions because she watches that. We got her into watching Shudder, and like, if there's too many, you know how it logs you out on certain accounts.
Mhm.
She called me and she goes, "My Shudder is locked out. Why did he lock me out of Shudder again? Why?" So every time we go over there, we'd log her back in. But she loves watching Joe Bob and all that. So like, her meeting Tom Savini would be a big deal too because we used to watch. Oh my God, Dusk Till Dawn a lot too. So that was a big thing.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
That was so yeah. I don't know, but yeah, Tony Todd is another one. Like I still picture him as Candyman, and like he freaks me out. He's so tall too, and then not only that, his voice work that he's done.
He could spit bees in my mouth any day.
Charles, have you ever had anybody you're like mushmouth with other than Jen Wigmore? That you're like starstruck by at days? Like, do you have anybody who ever like?
Not really starstruck, but people that they're the people that I want to see I haven't seen yet. Like I missed Amy Steele on the last one. She was in Friday the 13th Part 2. She was the final girl, and she was in April Fool's Day. So I freaking love Amy Steele, and I want to meet Amy Steele. I tried to reach out on her social media without her thinking I'm a creeper, saying, "Hey, I'm here. I want you to be on our podcast," but I haven't heard back from her either. But
that's kind of how I feel about Danielle Harris because I'm about to meet her at Astronomicon, and
she's really cool.
I'm just one of those times I just keep my hands in my pocket.
Hi. You should have seen me with Barry Bostwick when like he came over. I don't even know. What is that weird? I felt like I was weird. No, I felt so weird. He's so tall. He's like,
I'd be weird with Tim Curry. I'd be weird.
I would literally just be on the floor like full on Wayne's World style. Like, I'm not worthy.
Yeah, I'd be like shaking and stuff, trying to give him. I would just freak out in front of Tim Curry.
I would probably cry because that would be a dream come true, and then I would just pass out. I would just pass out. Him and RuPaul, like straight up, I would pass out if I met RuPaul. Full on, like past the.
Yeah, but yeah.
I white girled on the Boulay Brothers because clearly I can't handle my fucking self. So
but there's a lot of people in horror that I would love to meet. I don't think I would wig out over them though, And those conventions give us a chance to meet some of them, but there's some that. They're either doing something across the country, they're not at Days of the Dead, or they don't do conventions. So,
who's the sweetest human is actually Doug Bradley. He is so nice. He's so sweet. And considering that he was Pinhead, he's just like a really nice person.
So I will tell you, the hardest I ever fanboyed was I was actually working security for Spooky Empire, and that year was just so stacked. It had Tom Towles, every Leatherface, and William Forsythe, and just so many dope people. And from the moment I got there, I was overloaded because I was outside smoking, and Clive Barker's partner came out and asked me for a light, and then my back was hurting, and William Forsythe came up and said, "Grow a pair and shut up." And I was like, "Oh my God, he just told me to grow a pair. I love it." And then, the guy Brian Johnston, the guy who played the second Leatherface.
Okay.
I had dreadlocks at the time, and he came up and he was like, "I know you know where to get pot." And it was like, "I can get you pot, Leatherface." And
no problem.
So that was a cool.
Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah. And that year I got Bill Moseley always has those chop top lead plates. I got one of those signed by him, and it was just an overall really cool experience. And working security, you kind of get more one-on-one time with them as humans and not as like them at the table. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, "God damn, I hate this shit. Gotta pay the bills somehow." And I'm like, yes, show me the real you.
The facade is gone.
Barker, the first year we ever went to Days, I think I just launched mouth. First year we were there, we were walking back to our room. It was late at night, and all of a sudden, Clive Barker is just like wheeling down the hallway.
Oh.
Sup, guys? And I was like, and then the other girl was like, oh my God, that was fucking Clive Barker. So there was like all 5 of us in this hallway. Like Clive Barker just literally rolled down the hall, like just fucking rolled down. That's a very, I want to be in that motherfucker's mind.
When I
for a fucking day
was at the convention he was at, it took every ounce of me not to drain my entire bank account for an original Clive Barker piece.
Those are fucking, I didn't know how much it was going to be.
We were like, oh my God.
I didn't even want to go in there. I was like, I don't want to breathe on it. Like,
You had to walk away. You had to walk away.
They're like, what, $5 to $1,000?
Yeah, anywhere from there. But the one I wanted in particular was probably around 6 foot by 5 foot.
Ooh.
I want to say, and it was like $3,000, and I was like, oh God, I want it so bad.
I'll go into debt for some shit like that too. Can you imagine? Why did I just forget his name? He directs with Johnny Depp.
Tim Burton.
Can you imagine like him being at a convention though, and him having his artwork there?
It wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
That line would be.
Well,
insane.
I say that, but then you have like Dragon Con has certain celebrities like that, like William Shatner or whatnot, that have lines that go.
Yeah.
But I feel like horror conventions are a little bit less equipped to deal with people.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
They're smaller.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if they could handle that kind of.
Yeah.
Well, one guy I really miss at the conventions, and he, we used to see him every year at Days of the Dead in Atlanta. Is Sid? So.
R.I.P.
What a sweetheart, man.
Our first year, we got to meet him and take a picture with him, and thank God we did because he passed away that second year. And going next to that table and everybody putting cards in, like that broke my entire heart. Like I had to walk away for a second. Like that actually hurt my soul.
I don't ever get upset about people, but passing. But that one fucked me up pretty bad.
His panel was just. Did you get to go to that panel that year when he was there? Well, he's been there a lot, but
it all blends together. I can't remember.
2018 or 2019? It was 2018. No, I think so.
I think
because we watched his panel, and he just has so much knowledge and experience, and he was so interesting to listen to, and no one wanted to stop the panel. Like no one was rushing it. Like, hey, we got a time constraint. Everybody was just in there like. I
can tell you I can word for word recite Sid Haig's favorite speech, and it's simple, and I heard him say it 1,000 times, and I think it was by what's the guy's name? William Chappell. Anyways, the whole thing is just never give up. Do what you love and never give up. And he said that almost every time I heard him speak. And that shit just resonated with me for the rest of my life.
Well, the director I recorded a podcast with yesterday, Tony Wash, he directed a movie with Sid Haig, High on the Hog.
That's actually a good movie.
I love that.
That's a good movie.
Cool movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, and I'm going to rent it this weekend. But he had several Sid Haig stories, which I'm not going to rehash here because he told them on the podcast. And one of them is a very good story about how one of the production people just up and quit, and how Sid stepped in to calm everyone's fears because it was a pretty high level person that quit. And Sid was like, let me shut up right now because I want people to hear it from Tony. But Sid was a presence there, and he calmed everybody down to get the movie done. And it was High on the Hog. It was that film.
To see him in the last Devil's Reject film, 3 from Hell, seeing him like that actually was really sad too. Yeah. Just being in the movie theater was very sad.
However, I do want to see that Hanukkah movie. I don't know if it ever came out or.
Didn't we buy it?
No,
we didn't. I thought we buy it.
I don't know that it ever came out.
It did come out. You can buy it. They normally have it at Days at that one table that has the Frankenhooker stuff. It's right when you first walk in. It's over by the lady who sews the stuff on the flannel shirts. I can't remember her booth, but you have the purse booth, and then they're like right there on the.
But yeah, I definitely want to see that shit, even though I know it's going to be kind of rough because.
I think he was sick majority of that film.
It sucks because he used to get pissed off because people were the whole thing, people would talk about how sick he was, or there'd be whispers at the convention, and we heard that shit, and so he came out publicly at one point, like, look, I'm fucking fine, like, just let me be alive.
That Instagram post was hard too to read, and then we didn't know he was sick. He was just like, I was just losing weight, and like, then a couple months later he passed, and I was like, man.
Well, that's exactly probably what he didn't want, people just feeling sorry for him,
His wife still runs his page, and it's just pretty much like a memorial of him and all of the stories that he has, and it's still a really good page to go to. It's still a feel good page, but that's a hard one. That is a hard one.
Even in his limited role in 3 from Hell, even that few minutes he had on the screen, he still captivated you. I mean, yeah. When he said what he said, I was there.
How'd you feel about that movie?
I like it.
I do too.
Because here's the thing about so many people hate Rob Zombie movies, and I'm white trash, so I love white trash movies.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I love Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah, and here's the thing about 3 from Hell. Was it kind of rehashed of Devil's Rejects? Yeah. It was Devil's Rejects in Mexico. But they also switched roles. Bill Moseley's character evolved, got older, and became Cutter's character. And Baby went batshit and took Otis's spot.
I loved watching and lose her fucking mind in that prison cell. I fucking loved that scene. That was so good. And I wanted a movie just about her losing her mind. I really liked that.
I want to see the outtakes of her losing her mind as Lily Munster when she just goes because they're not going to put it in the movie, but she's going to go batshit on set. So I want to see
Everybody's giving him shit about that, but that's his favorite. I think he's literally going to do that every bit of justice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. And everybody, if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it.
Exactly.
I even Lords of Salem, people were like, "Oh, it's shit," and I was like, "That was his attempt at an art movie." If you don't enjoy art movies, you're not gonna fucking like it, dude. Like,
I always preface that film when people ask about. I say it's a hour and a half long music video,
right?
That's meant to just be taken in.
I think I watched it as a film the first time I watched it. I was like, it's okay, I don't get it, and then I watched it by myself, and I was like, okay, that's actually really beautifully done, and the thematic elements it had, and then fucking Patricia Quinn. I mean, obviously it's amazing. She was cool.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like my first watch, I was like, I don't know if I like this or not.
Same with Midsummer. You're gonna hate it the first time you watch it. You still hate it, but I mean, you love.
I hate that movie.
I'm scared to watch it.
You haven't watched it yet?
No, because I hate.
Stay there.
It is anxiety.
Stay there an extra 3 hours, and Dustin will pop the video.
We have the extended cut too.
I hate The Witch. I hate The Lighthouse. I hate.
The Witch.
You don't like slow burn.
I don't. I want my movies either full of color and poppy and let's do this and has a story, or I want just something with I don't know, man. It just hits me different.
I think you and I are the same person because slow burn horror, I either love it or I fucking despise it. And like, I want a good storyline. I want to be engaged, but I don't want to have my feelings hurt. I don't want to have to think about that shit later, and it's going to resonate with me. He likes the deep ones, like that cut you real deep. And he'll go home, eat a sandwich, and go to bed. I'm like, I need to watch cartoons. Like, I gotta watch SpongeBob now. Like, there's a whole process.
You're gonna hate that film, but you should still subject yourself to
Christy
it.
loves it. She was like, "Oh man, did it fall to the ground?" And blah. And I'm like, man, I just can't.
I will say, artistically, it is very aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. It's really pretty to look at, but it's a hard watch. It is definitely.
Have you seen Bliss yet on Shudder?
No.
That's actually really good.
Yeah,
we
I would
that
suggest
for
that
Christmas,
one for
and
you.
he was like, "Hey, this is crazy." I was like, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
Did you watch Willy's Wonderland yet?
I have not.
I love that. See, that's my type of dumb fucking comedy.
But I loved it. He never spoke.
The banana splits.
That was good. That was good.
That was awesome.
You didn't watch it yet? You gotta watch it.
I've got it. It's on my
watch
list.
the banana splits too. It's on Amazon.
Give me something dumb with a dumb character that kills people. I love dumb. Give me dumb.
I think comedy horror, one of my favorites is Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Yeah, or like Tucker and Dale, which I
Yeah.
wish they would hurry up with the sequel.
That was hilarious.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Give me dumb over smart any day. Simple, make it. I'm a simple man.
All right.
I
Never
might
claimed to be the
simple
smartest man, Jenny.
I love you, Jenny.
Well, I know what love is. Yeah, my special shoes. Anyway,
What's fucked up is I had to wear those special shoes as a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't know it because I basically I came out backwards, but one leg was still up in there, so my hips were all displaced and stuff. And I didn't know it until I was a teenager. And my mom was like, "Oh, you used to wear the special shoes." And for all my friends, I was like, "God damn it,
Mom!
yeah.
Mama sure does care about your schooling, boy."
Now we're gonna do an episode on Forrest Gump. That's an awesome movie, though. I loved it.
Oh,
It was a
yeah.
good movie. You still don't cry at the end. You're not human.
Yeah, I have a hard time with, like we were talking about earlier, anything that has to do with like mentally handicapped people
It
or
makes me
like
sad.
What's Eating
Yeah.
Gilbert Grape.
That was a
And,
phenomenal
like, I
performance.
love
though.
it, but
It's a hard one.
I don't want to be sad when I'm leaving the theater. Like I already like I struggle with wanting to kill myself on a daily basis. I don't want to go to the theater and be like, well, fuck, now I really want to kill myself.
It's hard.
Don't go see an art movie with Dustin. Then just don't do it.
We have gotten into a fight on several movies before,
Yes,
just because like he'll get home and go straight to sleep,
My
like no
movies
fucking
are not
thoughts.
depressing. My movies are anxiety inducing. There's a difference.
I had a panic attack trying to watch fucking Mandy. Okay, because
That movie is anxiety encapsulated in film.
it makes you feel like you're tripping acid, and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, we gotta pause it. I gotta eat some pizza. I don't know. I was just like, I gotta go.
You gotta do something happy. You gotta do something happy.
Yeah. I legit actually had a panic attack. I don't know why, because it's not like, I don't know.
I think you said one time you said something about you had to watch SpongeBob or something. Just to.
Yeah. I do have hope, though. Speaking of, because we've spoken about a couple of his movies so far, there is a very good chance that I could afford Nicolas Cage because he is doing
Stop it.
everything
Okay,
now.
how do you feel about him doing Dracula, though?
I would rather
Not?
throw myself into a wood chipper,
Okay.
but I'm gonna watch it because God, what a
That was
beautiful
Nick
train
Cage.
wreck it's gonna be.
Because this is how he's going to say it, and then I'm going to suck your blood.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
That's how he talks. He has this cadence.
oh yeah, he was cast as Superman with long hair. I don't know if you knew that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
You've never
Yeah.
seen the behind the scenes for that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It looked pretty cool. I would have watched it.
Yeah, he was actually cast in the role, and he had the suit on, but his hair was long. It was Superman with long hair.
You know what I would ask him about? Because I'm intrigued why he sold the LaRue mansion. Because he said
Yeah.
a lot of bad shit was happening to him because he bought
His
that.
career, like
You don't fucking buy the most haunted fucking place in the fucking anywhere and expect good things to happen. Like, you just don't fuck with certain stuff, dude. You don't do it.
So coming back to music though, that is something I would very much love to do is record an album and like record one song in like that mansion and
Inside?
then go to Penhurst Asylum and record a song and just go to some of the haunted places in America and record a song and like try to capture spirits on the album and shit.
You are brave, sir.
Like, how
No
dope would that
thanks.
be? Every time you play the album, you hear somebody screaming in the background.
I
or
will
some
not
shit.
be in that music video. I'll be at home. I am not saging my entire
Well,
existence.
dude, he's kind of onto something. That's very unique.
But I'm
Yeah.
with you on like I want to know, like I want to hear something. Because
Right.
like I don't want that fucking Ghost Hunters guy fucking asshole.
Zach Baggins.
I don't want a Zach
Yeah.
Baggins recording. Like I want to fucking like I want to be frightened.
Me too, but so badly. Like, here's the thing. I believe in the paranormal.
Yeah.
I want there to be paranormal. I've never had a paranormal experience that I couldn't
have.
explain. but I can tell you, I want the full poltergeist fucking. I want a bad experience with the afterlife to know that it's real. Like,
He wants
haunt
skeletons in the swimming
me.
pool. That's what he wants.
Exactly. Exactly. I want some bad shit to happen so I could be like, oh yeah, this shit's real. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I think when we were moving when I was a kid, my mom used to take me and my cousin Vinny and my grandma, because me, him, and my grandma had we have this weird, we know when something's off, in the
Yeah.
house. I have this really weird thing. And it's still to this day, I know when something bad's going to happen. I just have this fucking thing. It sounds insane. Anyway, we were moving and they took us to go visit this house. And Vinny wouldn't even go in. And then my grandma and I go in. It's in the middle of the fucking summer. Air conditioning's turned off. There's nothing in this house. It's hot as balls. We get in this one room in the house, and it's fucking freezing. And I'm talking Arctic blast freezing. And I was like, we're leaving. We have to leave. They were like, why is it? No, somebody got murdered here. And they were like, no. I was like, somebody is legit getting murdered here. I don't like it. And then we get in the basement, fully empty house. We get in this basement, and there was a dungeon looking thing in this door that was padlocked. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, don't open that.
A whole family looked like they were living down there. There was Bibles and kids fucking blankets out, and I was like, I'm out.
I think there was a book inside that room that probably wrapped in barbed wire and in plastic.
I was like, there's a Bible down there. I don't know if they're locked in there. I was like, I don't like it. My grandma was like, Mary Ann, you can't buy this. We have to go. This is terrible. It was.
Yeah, anywhere with a Bible, count me out. That's some scary shit.
There's a lot of stuff in there. I have too many questions. Matt, that's a whole other episode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sorry, listeners. Well, does anybody have any underlying thoughts or advice to give to any people coming into the music business or in the, any actors? Do you have any advice for any people like that? Any budding horror artists?
Don't do it. It's expensive and you're just going to be depressed at the end of the day with the outcome. No, I'm kidding. Follow your dreams. Fuck the mainstream. Quit your job. Join the circus. Whatever makes you happy at the end of the day, do it. Because we all live in the Matrix and it's not real anyways.
I feel that way a lot. So honestly, you know what? Sell your body. If you got the body, sell it. You're going to make a lot of money.
Hey.
I'd sell feet pics. I'm just saying, man. Do you know how much money people make on feet pics?
Yeah, if anybody has a fetish for corns and yellow crust around your toes, I got you. Hit me up. We can make your dreams come true.
It's Rule 34. It exists.
Yeah.
They have cake fart videos.
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah.
They also have a challenge to see how many Sharpies you can put in your butthole, too, on Reddit. I didn't know. Reddit. No, thank you, Amadeus and Dustin, for letting me know about it, because Jesus fuck.
I want to watch them color with it.
Oh, wow.
That's a thing. No, it's a thing.
What?
Synced it.
You just changed my life.
Yeah, I will find it after the podcast.
This podcast changed my life. Thanks, guys. Butthole coloring.
All right. So
Charles, do you want to tell our listeners where they can find you at?
Yeah, you can find me at Charles Campbell Author on Facebook. You can find my stuff at valleyboypublications.com. It has links to all of my social media stuff. And we thank you so much for listening to Horror 421, the podcast. So that's what I got out there.
And I am Elena Marie on Facebook, and you can find me at JukeboxBaby78 on Instagram and TikTok. If you would love to see some of my crazy makeup stuff that I do, I paint myself, I do drag. There's a lot of stuff I do. And if you want to see him in some of those pictures, he is on there. He never posts anything, but he is on there.
I don't exist anywhere.
He's just there for the Facebook drama.
His name is Dustin.
I lurk. I just lurk. I don't post. It's useless to follow me on anything.
Now you have to make one called The Lurker and just never post anything.
I would follow the shit out of
That's
that.
a horror movie waiting to be made.
It probably is.
That reminds me of the character on Elvira the Breather, where he would just call her and be like,
we love our Elvira here.
Oh, yeah.
As you can see, she's in the corner.
Or I'll see ya.
Well, Horror 421 podcasters and family, thank you for coming on today. I hope you guys have a lovely day and a spooky week. Bye. Bye.
We hope you had a horrific time, lovelies. Thank you for tuning in to Horror 421, the podcast. Be sure to like us on YouTube and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.